सब लोग? बढ़िया यार. So first of all, I hope I'm audible. I've never used these mic. I've only used that MacBook or a camera. So I've never. So being a remote engineer, it's the first time I am visiting such a beautiful office, and you all can. And first time I'm wearing jeans and shoes, and I'm working so much. So just to give a small introduction, my name is Shubham Londe. I work for a UK-based startup, which is Vamstar. Pehle I didn't used to say the name, but then HR came, hey, you are doing so good on YouTube, we should tell our name and maybe people will start applying. And yes, they did apply. Also, I am working more into data engineering, backend engineering, DevOps, data ops, ML ops. And I thought, why not share this knowledge? So started my YouTube channel back in 2020, and for 2 years there were mostly 4 people who were constantly watching. Me, mummy, papa, and my sister. And suddenly I made a video called I think DevOps versus developer, and people started getting interested about DevOps. Now the journey is being well. We have crossed around 2.5 million views. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And the love that students are giving, I just entered and there were so many people greeting, so it's just very overwhelming for me. I am someone who never leaves the room. So yeah. So yeah, today's session we will be talking about Docker on cloud. So when I started my journey back in 2018, I just entered my office and it was my first day. And the CTO, so I was in a startup. So I was 22, my CTO was 24, and CEO was 23. So you can understand how the task would have been. So my first day, and they said the Bitcoin ka node bana do Docker pe. Who is Docker? And Bitcoin kaun hai? So, and that was how my first day started. And yeah, people were very supportive. And I started creating Docker files, images, containers, everything that you heard before. And with years, it came to me that okay, these things are quite interesting and quite needed. For example, ChatGPT. Everyone saw how ChatGPT was saying that we are out of capacity. So, but nowadays it doesn't say it. Why?
Premium.
Yeah. Also, even the free one works. It got scaled up. It scaled pretty well. And that time I realized, oh, what is this? How are these people scaling things up? And how is everyone managing their containers and everything so well? Because when I started in 2018, what we used to do? We used to run Docker containers on an EC2 machine. And every other day it used to fail. And we were like, what is happening? So CTO was like, kuch nahi growth ho rahi hai. Log aa rahe, chalao tum chalao. And I was like, okay, chalate. Then and that is how things went on. And when I switched, so I came to know about things like ECS, Elastic Container Service. Then things became very interesting. I started learning about Kubernetes and more interesting. But then I understood that if I wanted to test my containers, Docker containers, and I wanted to give it to some testing team, I can't give my local containers or something like that. So I needed something which is scalable. It doesn't need any kind of infrastructure provisioning, something really cool. So today's talk is about that cool thing which I started working on, and that is called Fargate. So whatever I just said, I was just coming to the VMware office and I was just imagining how my journey was. So yeah, this is how my journey started. So much, I was so much, doing work on Docker run, Docker build. But then I understood कि यार Docker compose से चीजें चलाते हैं. So then I switched to Docker Hub and EC2, where everything was on cloud only. I was not doing anything on local. EC2 पे बढ़िया अपने GitHub pull किया, Docker build किया, and बढ़िया Docker Hub से चीजें चल रही हैं. So things were going really smooth. And then one day I decided to go remote. UK based company में काम करेंगे. And that time I realized, okay, things can go a level up as well. So I started working on Fargate. How many of you know what is Fargate? So thank you so much. ये अच्छा टॉपिक लिया मैंने. So अच्छा वो आप लोग को नहीं पता. I thought that everyone must be knowing. Anyone? सच में नहीं? Okay. नाम सुना है. Okay. ECR? I am loving this. This is amazing. आज आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. Okay. So that's for sure. So yeah, that is how everything started. बहुत दिमाग लगता था. फिर बाद में मैंने सोचा कि यार what if I use everything on AWS, ECR, which is Elastic Container Registry, just like Docker Hub, okay, and Fargate. So if you see this EC2, how many of you know EC2? Nice. So EC2 has a limitation. You have to provision it. You have to tell them कि भैया 4 कोर वाला देना. Indians are more like T2 micro. Okay. So, but in case of Fargate, you don't have to worry about all these things. It scales up pretty well. So you don't have to worry about infrastructure. So if I tell the definition of Fargate, it is basically a serverless compute engine. Okay. So whatever you do on EC2 is a server. Fargate is more like a serverless thing. You don't have to worry about what is the infrastructure, कितने core लगने हैं, क्या करना है, chill है. Okay. ECR on the other hand is just like your Docker Hub. Okay. And yeah, उतना ही है. But how to deploy your Node.js application? अब Node.js बोलने के लिए cool लगता है इसलिए मैंने Node.js लिया है, सच बताओ तो. So any kind of application you can do with this. So yeah. Yeah, this is how I used to run in 2018 versus now. So yeah, let's talk about AWS Fargate and ECR. So as you all were not aware what is Fargate, so let me just give a small छोटा सा introduction. How many of you have heard about ECS? Elastic? पक्का? कोई इंटरव्यू नहीं पूछता, so it's fine. ECS, okay. So Elastic Container Service allows you to run your Docker containers on basically AWS cloud. Okay, you can run different types of containers as well. So Docker is also supported. Now ECS, when it was launched, ECS was launched with EC2. Okay, so you could launch you could run your containers on EC2 machine. But then they realized कि यार कौन इतना infrastructure बनाए, developers को भी तो आराम होना चाहिए. And they started DevOps. How many of you are interested in DevOps? Do subscribe, huh? Okay.
Nice marketing.
Nice. Okay. So what if I tell you that I am more into, okay, just slide में डाला तो बता देता हूँ. ECR, basically you can push your images on AWS cloud and it's called Elastic Container Registry. Okay, you can register your image, both public and private. Okay, and बस बहुत theory हो गई. Let's do some hands-on. Obviously hands-on के लिए मैंने सोचा था कि सबके पास लैपटॉप होगा, but मुझे क्या पता यार, मैं रिमोट इंजीनियर हूँ, मैंने दुनिया नहीं देखी इतनी बार. And first of all, I entered this office में कहा अरे बाप रे ये सब क्या है. So let's start with your hands-on. How many of you have seen this screen? Yes. Basically AWS EC2 Instance Connect. How many of you have seen this?
He's not in Ohio.
Yeah, not in a while.
Not in Ohio.
Oh, so I just love North Virginia. Okay, because billing जो AWS की सर्विस है ना, I think that's available and the AWS Cloud Watch alerts logs वो बिलिंग के लिए नॉर्थ वर्जीनिया में अवेलेबल है. तो मेरे बिल जो बहुत सारे आते हैं ना, I just keep everything in virtual Gmail. Okay. So let's do one simple thing. I will just guide you through the steps which you can, कहीं लिखोगे नहीं मैं तो भी याद रह जाएगा. I am pretty sure. Okay. So this is my repository. I call it node to do CI/CD. Okay, there are PRs. So node to do CI/CD, it's a complete CI/CD application just for demo purposes. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just clone this, okay? Okay. Okay. So it says destination already exists because I came prepared here. Okay. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just giving you an end-to-end project which you can add to your resume. And उसी के लिए लोग मेरा चैनल देखते हैं अगर कोई होगा सब देखने वाला तो. So basically first step you have to clone that repository, and second step for you just have to do some things. How many of you have a free tier account on AWS? You have to go to Elastic Container Registry. Okay. How many of you see in this screen Elastic Container Registry? Okay, done. Just create a repository. Okay. Create a repository. Keep it public only. Keep it public. Any name anyone would suggest? Kuch bhi.
Happy birthday, Docker.
Happy birthday, Docker. Love it. Okay. Happy birthday, Docker Node app. Okay, nice. And that's it. Okay. So happy birthday, Docker Node app is done. Okay. Done. Now all you have to do is just, no brainer. Just click on this view push command. And you will get this thing. AWS ECR public get login password, this thing. Before that, you have to configure your system for AWS CLI. How many of you have heard about this? AWS CLI. CLI matlab? So you have to configure your system for AWS CLI. वो वाला step I'll just skip क्योंकि I think everyone knows how to configure. Configure में कौन से दो keys लगते हैं? मैं skip कर सकता हूँ. Okay. So yes, all you have to do is go to IAM, get your secret access and access key ID, and configure your system. Once you do that, all you have to do is वो जो मैंने वो दिखाया था ना वो लो image Docker build वाला. Can anyone tell me commands to, there is a Docker file kept here. Okay. There is a Docker file kept here. Can anyone tell me is it correct? This Docker file is correct? So what I'm trying to do is, this is a Node.js application. I am just taking a base. Can anyone tell me? I think everyone attended the previous session. What is this called?
Base image.
क्या बात है? ये?
Work directory.
Okay. And it is a Node.js app तो nice.
Blank.
Okay. So it is a Node.js app. So इससे what do you understand by this? These two commands?
Package manager.
Packages install करेगा, test करेगा. And yeah, I think that's all. Okay. तो build कर दे. Can anyone tell me what is the command for building the Docker image?
Docker build.
मैंने क्या बोला? No brainer है ना. तो इधर जाना है. ये बता रहे यार. क्यों इतना दिमाग लगाते हो लोग? Okay, just copy this. Go here, paste this. Login successful. Why? क्यों login successful? You have already configured your IAM things. हो गया? Again, no brainer. Docker build -t happy birthday Docker node app. ओके मैंने कुछ नहीं बताया, वही बता। ओके सो it is doing this. Okay, warning, the screen is black and full of errors. Okay, हो गया डॉक्टर कहते हो गया थोड़ा सा बचा है, थोड़े डन, सक्सेसफुली टैग्ड हैप्पी बर्थडे डॉकर। ओके नेक्स्ट, डॉकर टैग हैप्पी बर्थडे डॉकर विथ योर पब्लिक रिपोजिटरी। तो ये कमांड पे बेसिकली क्या करता है, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो दिस कमांड डॉकर टैग? नाइस, कम हाथ आ रहा है, आई लव इट। सो क्या होता है, दिस द फर्स्ट पार्ट इज योर इमेज विच इज केप्ट लोकली। तो जो आपने यहां पे किया ना, इसकी वजह से ये बनता है हैप्पी बर्थडे डॉकर नोड ऐप लेटेस्ट, बट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट दिस गोज टू ECR, सो उसके अकॉर्डिंग यू हैव टू टैग इट अगेन, गेटिंग इट? So that is why we are tagging it again. हो गया टैग? How to check if it is tagged successfully or not? Docker images. And it is tagged correctly. बढ़िया, happy birthday Docker is tagged. And all you have to do is Docker push. Can anyone tell me what does Docker push do? लोकल इमेज को वो रिपोजिटरी में पुश कर देता है। एंड रिपोजिटरी कौन सी है? The one where we logged in.
Happy birthday डॉक्टर।
ECR, हाँ ECR वाला। पुशिंग थोड़ा टाइम ले रहा, तब तो बात ही कर दी। So Node.js और Python? Python कहा के नसील्ला क्या? Python, yeah. बट यार डेमो Node.js का है, क्योंकि ऑडियंस को जो चाहिए वही देना। ओके नाइस, सो आर इमेजेस पुश टू वेयर? डॉकर हब पे ना? सो गो टू ECR एंड जस्ट रिफ्रेश। अच्छा, रिफ्रेश को बटन रहता है। ओके, क्या लगता है आएगी? 100% आ जाएगी? देखते क्या लगता है? आई एम प्रीटी श्योर किसी का तो कॉल आ रहा होगा। काफी सस्पेंस कर दिया। अगर नहीं आया ना, बहुत ज्यादा सस्पेंस हो रहा है अभी तो। क्या लगता है हैप्पी बर्थडे डॉकर नोड ऐप? चलो भाई, अभी अपने को क्या करना है? सो ECR वाला पार्ट खत्म हो गया। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर क्लियर विद ECR वाला पार्ट? इतने से हाथ, वो उधर क्या हो गया? वो देखो इधर चैट उनके साथ नेक्स्ट $1 million स्टार्टअप। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड ECR वाला पार्ट? नाउ वंस यू हैव पुश्ड योर इमेज हियर, ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज गो फॉर ECS। ओके, अब व्हाट इज ECS? ECS is basically वो जो लिखा हुआ है Amazon Elastic Container Service. So it's a service managed by AWS that allows you to run your Docker containers. पहले वो EC2 पे चलाते थे, अब it is getting much smarter. So let's try to run it. By the way, if you want to run something on ECS, you need to create a task definition. Okay, so create कर देते हैं. But before that, let's create a cluster. What is a cluster? कोई बता सकता है? Cluster?
Group of something.
Group of them. मैं before doing all these things ना, मुझे ना 10th में cluster headache हुआ था. How many of you have heard about cluster headache?
I have cluster.
You have cluster headache. Congrats यार. कैसे उससे निकलते हैं?
डॉक्टर बोले क्योर नहीं है, प्रिकॉशन ले लो।
सही, क्या प्रिकॉशन?
हेडफोन पहनो मत, ट्रैवल ज्यादा मत करो, और
रिमोट
क्लाउडी वेदर में बाहर मत जाओ।
तो पुणे तो मतलब क्लस्टर हेडेक के
पेट का सवाल है।
चलो बढ़िया है। सो क्लस्टर इज बेसिकली अ ग्रुप ऑफ समथिंग, हेडेक, मशीन्स। ओके, सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग हियर इज क्रिएटिंग अ क्लस्टर सो दैट आवर कंटेनर्स कैन वर्क आराम से। ठीक है, तो लेट्स क्रिएट अ क्लस्टर। नामकरण कर दो, बताओ अभी हैप्पी बर्थडे के अलावा कुछ कर दो। और एनीवन?
नाम दो उसको।
डॉकर CNCF
Why so serious?
व्हाट इज दिस? डॉकर CNCF इवेंट क्लस्टर
Meetup.
मीटअप। ओके, अपन कुछ भी बना सकते हो ना, अपना ही है।
Meet down.
So we are just selecting one VPC जिससे कि बाहर की जनता झांक के ना देखे हमारे क्लस्टर में क्या चल रहा है। ओके, डिफॉल्ट नेम स्पेस आई जस्ट क्रिएटेड सेम। यहाँ पे आ गया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। सो इट इज ऑटोमेटिकली सजेस्टेड मी कि भैया आप पे एज यू गो AWS Fargate सर्वरलेस, ऑटोमेटिकली सजेस्टेड। बट अगर फिर भी आपको कुछ और कार्य करने तो EC2 आप ले सकते हो या एक्सटर्नल ले सकते हो। आई वुड सजेस्ट डोंट गो फॉर दिस बिकॉज आज के सेशन का टाइटल आपको याद है ना, Fargate। ओके, सो आफ्टर दिस you just have to just skip the optional part and create. So your cluster is being created. It will take some time, थोड़ा सा टाइम लेगा। Okay, so Docker CNCF meetup cluster is created. Okay, so which means एक ऐसी जगह बन चुकी है where you can run your containers. अब वो EC2 में रन करो, Fargate में रन करो, गाड़ी पे ले जाके कहीं पे भी करो। Okay, now all I have to do is task definition. Go to task definition, create a task definition, new task definition. Okay, let's call it okay. Now the interesting part, task definition is like your command. कौन सा वाला पता है? Docker run वाला। किस किस को याद है Docker run command? कोई बता सकता है Docker run वाला command? Docker run -d इंटरैक्टिव अगर करना है तो फिर योर इमेज कौन सा पोर्ट डालना है, ठीक है। से यू हैव टू डू इट हियर, ओके, विदाउट राइटिंग एनीथिंग। सो नेम ऑफ योर कंटेनर, क्या नाम दूं कंटेनर का? कुछ भी देते हैं, हैप्पी बर्थडे डॉक्टर। ओके, एंड दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, इमेज URI। इसमें क्या दूंगा मैं? ECR वाला। Okay, just go to ECR, go to this latest image, get the public URI. Okay, public URI. Done. Container port
8000।
इतना कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ 8000। अगर मैं 3000 पे लर्न किया था तो
वहाँ पे दिया नहीं,
वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है ना। Okay, amazing. Next, उससे अलावा कुछ नहीं। We don't need any environment variables. I directly gave 8000 port mapping and the image which I required. That's it. And Fargate, Linux. So you can decide here कि आपको कितना CPU चाहिए, how much RAM do you need. So it's a small application. I've just given इतना। But you were saying कि यार ये तो serverless है, तो ये क्यों करना पड़ रहा है? So basically what it does, according to this resource group, it scales up. कि 4 और auto scaling group add कर देगा according to this resource group. Okay? आप इसको 2 CPU लगाओगे तो 2 CPU के resource group बना देगा। Okay? So you have to be very careful while doing this.
So these are minimum or maximum?
Minimum.
How max you can go?
देखते हैं ना? ओ भाई साहब, इतना सारा। So yeah, you can go. Okay. Then optional वाली चीज़ optional बस। Next. Okay. Now your task definition has been created. मतलब जो Docker run command था दैट हैज बीन क्रिएटेड, उसको ना बस एक क्लस्टर में रन करना है. Okay, it's taking some time. So before this, how you used to you were running your Docker containers locally? Docker and locally only. Okay, okay. And what about EC2? How many of you used EC2 to run it? EC2 करके then serve security group open करके. That is, I think that is the most commonly used thing. Okay. I think the same. Okay, so I'll just walk you through कि आगे आगे क्या होने वाला है. So basically I've just created a task definition और वो मैं उस क्लस्टर को देके चला दूंगा. That's all. Okay, you understand. Okay, so these is just review कि आपने जो काम किया is just reviewing it. So your task definition name is Docker node task definition. The container details are you are creating a name of the container as Docker node demo. Public URI image URI is this, and then port delivery. Host port mapping. If you want to give any environment variables, you can give, but it's fine. Okay, and that's it. Create. How many of you are following कि कल को मैं notes नहीं भी दूंगा, just like my YouTube channel, तो भी आप कर लोगे, right? वरना वो YouTube पे ना बहुत वो करना पड़ता है कि check the notes in the description, फिर वो लोग like करते हैं. But thank you for doing that. Yeah. Okay, so your thing is ready. Okay. Docker node task definition is ready. So what do you think? Should we deploy?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Deploy पे click कर. Run task. अब वहाँ पे पूछ रहा है कि भैया कौन से क्लस्टर पे रन करना है. So let's say you have a cluster of Python applications, Node.js application thing. So यहाँ पे वो चीज आप separate out कर सकते हो. So Docker CNCF वाले पे करते हैं. And all you have to do is इसमें से ना launch task directly. Okay, without capacity provider, क्योंकि आप टेस्ट कर रहे हो, it's fine. Okay, launch type ये using Fargate platform version latest. It's a task because you want to run this application as a standalone. कि बस application run हो, URL generate हो और वो टेस्टर को दे दो कि हमारी जॉब खतरे में डाल. How many of you like testers? How many of you are testers here? गलत क्वेश्चन पहले पूछा. Oh, I know you. बढ़िया. I like testers. Okay. Done. So what I am doing here, I am just creating a task for that particular cluster. Create. Okay. So task is launched. तो मतलब हम लोगों ने पहले कंटेनर को डॉकर फाइल से इमेज बना, इमेज से कंटेनर बना, उसको पुश किया. सॉरी, क्या हुआ? डॉकर फाइल से इमेज बना, इमेज को पुश किया, अब उस इमेज से कंटेनर बन रहा है. ओके, जस्ट चेक, गो टू योर डॉकर CNCF थिंग एंड गो टू टास्क. So it is provisioning प्रोविजनिंग मतलब वो जो 1 CPU और 3 GB रैम वाला जो एक सर्वरलेस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ना, वो बनाने की कोशिश कर रही है। करने दो, अपने को क्या, अपने तो घूमेंगे। ओके, ओके, सो आवर डिजायर्ड स्टेट इज रनिंग, मतलब चाहता हूं मैं कि यार चल जाए, बट इट इज पेंडिंग, सो इट विल टेक सम टाइम, बट hopefully everything will go fine and you will see your node application up and running on cloud. Okay, before this, how many of you have some 2 to 3 years experience on Node.js? Node.js. Less than 2 years in Node.js development experience. Okay, good. So Node.js ke applications, if I have to find something on on GitHub, I have to deploy them on AWS or something. So which is the best repository or best place to find these applications?
Applications or packages?
Application. For example, मुझे एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाना है जिसको मुझे AWS पे डिप्लॉय करना है, बिकॉज एवरीवन वांट्स दैट मॉन एप्लीकेशन। सबको चाहिए होता है कि एक मॉन एप्लीकेशन ना मेरा आपको डिप्लॉय करके दिखा दो उसको। सो वेयर टू गेट दोस प्रोजेक्ट? GitHub। तो आपका GitHub मुझे बताना, मैं पक्का आपसे लूंगा, ठीक है?
श्योर सर।
Taking some time for provisioning only. Okay. One more thing, just like whatever steps we did, ये भी pending आ रहा है. So whatever steps we did, I just did the same thing here for our demo. But मैं सोचा कि क्यों ना hands on पे ही कर दूं. Same things I did here. So note to do demo. If you click here, if you go to task, there is one task running. So ये मैंने एक डेमो के लिए क्रिएट किया था. If that one is still provisioning and pending, we can do this one. But still, let's see कि ऐसा क्या हुआ है it's pending since long time. Okay. Here. Okay. For some reason it is showing pending, but don't worry, I have a backup thing ready for me. Okay. Huh?
एरर आया था कुछ इमेज फुल करना।
Sure.
हाँ
Cannot pull container, pull image manifested. Okay. Let's debug it real time.
URI गलत है। जल्दी से रजिस्टर नहीं होता पब्लिक।
Maybe the URL is different. Okay, so I think there is a pullback error, so we can fix that obviously. Okay, let me just check if this is the same image. Let's try submitting new task again.
लोकल पे पुल करके देते हैं।
Okay. So I've launched it again. Let's see. Okay. So there is one error which was coming, that is called pullback error. So what happens? ECS tries to locate that particular repository in ECR, but it is not able to get that. So that was the error which we were facing. Ooh. So real time troubleshooting. इसके लिए तो लाइक बनता है.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your container is running. How many of you want to test it out? Ready to test?
Yes.
हाथ तो एक के भी नहीं उठे.
Mobile उड़ी.
चलो let's test it out.
I think I'm a beginner.
But before that,
My project.
did we open the port number 8000 security group? नहीं किया था. So you have to go to your ECS and you have to check if your cluster, your particular cluster has a security group. Okay. So one good thing is you can see it directly from here. So the only thing which is remaining is basically your this thing, security group, जो आपको open करना है.
That ISO इसलिए बोलता हूँ use करो.
Just give me 1 minute.
ये होगा कि
Anyone who has some experience in security groups? किसको पता है? Correct. Go to Docker node task definition, then I remember doing it here. नहीं. When we create a cluster, right? So उस टाइम पे अपने को लेना पड़ेगा. So I think I missed that part. कोई नहीं, अपन अपडेट कर लेंगे. Okay. So I think we are running out of time. That's why I'll do one simple thing. So our container was running. It's obviously running, but for some reason we just have, port number 80 as not, opened up. So what we can do, I have a simple demo already running. उससे आप देख सकते हैं क्या किया. But let's try to see how does our app look like once we run it. Okay. Network environment volume.
ये दूसरा है, पुराना आता है.
Let's run it. Address. Okay. Amazing. So obviously ये वो वाला नहीं है. It is the demo one which I created. But just need to update the security groups. It will run fine. So yeah, first of all, Docker, your meetup is really awesome. And this was the Node.js application which we could deploy directly from our ECR and Fargate. Okay. So how many of you think they can improve this web page? Yeah, Node.js people, they can definitely do it. So yeah, I want everyone to try this out, and whoever solves the security group wala thing, tag me on LinkedIn. Okay. It will be a direct, direct feedback.
Shout out.
So yeah, I think that's all from the hands-on side. It's a shameless plug. See if this works. How many of you think this? Not working? Let me check. Is it working? Network issue? Working for you?
TrainWithShubham.
Working, right? Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for being patient with me. And yeah, that was a shameless plug. So yeah, I hope. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed learning something new about AWS, about how to run Docker containers on cloud. Obviously, there are technical issues which you can definitely take care of due to shortage of time. But we did do some troubleshooting. Okay, amazing. I will see you all in the next meetup or in the next video. Okay. So यहाँ तक जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. देखते रहिए ट्रेन में शिवम चैनल. Thanks for watching.